Thank you. He's joking.
Where do you want to go to fight boxing match? You used to see how close I was to getting right. Pretty close to what? How close I was to getting right. Okay. A three-pointer at the end. Well, they didn't expect for you to take it. Yeah. I think she rushed it just a little bit. Yeah. Dude, that was close. You were. You Michael? Or you the stage man?
Zach, is it Zach? You cover Baylor, right? Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. Sorry, I don't remember all the time, so. I don't remember who's covering who, and so. Yeah, I just did not want them to come and us not have anybody, but I think there are a couple people here in addition to you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Covering
there's,
them.
3 TV stations on this.
Okay.
Are they already on their way?
They were close,
Oh.
so it's okay. I know they got their cool down ended
Quick 10 minutes.
quickly. Yeah.
Boy, that was something.
Test, 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 test. Nope.
Can you talk again real quick?
Test, test, test,
Okay, cool,
test.
thank you.
Okay. I forgot they have 10 minutes. I was getting so nervous. I'm like, we got it. Yep. I'll repeat this again. However, the all tournament team, Aaronette Vonleh, Staley Hurd, JJ Quinterly, Sedona Prince, Haley Van Lith is the most outstanding player. Nathan, can you hand those out as people come in? Thank you. I think Zach already got one. Don't forget the bracket. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to poach this part of my job at Baylor 1.
That's all right. I'll sell this duty. How are you, Unique? Do you need something? No, I'm just saying someone. Yeah, and I announced it, but then I saw it posted on social, and it'll probably be handed out. So I think we're covered. Mic holders, please keep your attention up on me, and I'll point you back or over, and thank you. Is that the all tournament team? Yep. Okay, here, I'll put maybe a couple up there and then hand it out, please. Thank you. Baylor is on its way. All right, we're joined by Baylor head coach Nikki Collins, student athletes Aaronette Bonlay and Sarah Andrews. Coach, if you could start us off, please. God bless.
Well, congratulations to TCU. Kind of led tip to finish. Felt like when Fauntleroy and Nettie were in foul trouble in the second quarter, it's probably when the game got away from us a little bit. I don't think we were very effective at either end of the floor. And then I thought we just clipped along. Played really good offense in the third, still made some defensive mistakes, but then I thought we really locked down in the fourth. So turned into a really good basketball game. Really thought Nettie was going to make that three and we would be playing overtime. I thought she was good all night long, and I thought Sarah was the leader of that comeback. I thought she kind of got in her bag and was really leading us in that stretch. So I thought these guys were a big part of why we ended up with a chance to win it.
Zach.
Coach, was that play to Nettie for three at the end of the game, was that how you drew it up? Is that the look you wanted?
Yep. Yeah. I know analytically, maybe it looks like I wouldn't do that, but I think it was the easiest way to get a clean look for three. And I've seen Nettie make a lot of those. We made her shoot them in preseason a lot, and I've just seen her knock down a lot of them. And when you're trying to play quickly, we were trying to get on the possession before. She ripped and drove it, and so Sedona plays drop coverage. It's the easiest way to get a three. It's a little harder. They would have switched out on our guards. They would have, it was a good look, and that thing looked like it was going in.
Sarah, in all three games against TCU, it seems like you guys didn't give up. It seems like you always had a comeback in the fourth quarter, I guess. What is it about late game situations where you kind of turn it on, and how do you get over that hump moving forward?
Just being vocal and letting everybody know that we're okay. It's a lot of basketball left. I just kept talking throughout the whole game. Like, come on, we were one stop away. Every time, I felt like we just couldn't get over that little hump when we got to about two or so. So just everybody being seniors and knowing it's our last time kind of to play together with this group, just being vocal.
All right, on the podium.
Sarah, kind of going along with that, I know this isn't the result y'all wanted, but looking at the team and how y'all performed in this tournament, how do you feel the team was?
Oh, this team was great. I think, we battled back from what we were down at halftime. I'm going to give us a day to hang our head on it, but when 11:59, 12 o'clock come tonight, it's time to move on and get ready for the NCAA tournament.
And Nettie, kind of going along with that, the selection show being on Sunday, what are y'all biggest takeaways from this tournament that y'all can take into the NCAA tournament?
I think the biggest takeaway is just that, we do have what it takes to play against really good teams and beat them. I think there's just a little switch that has to go off in our heads, and I know that we're going to work towards that, but we just have what it takes in our locker room to win against anybody, and we just have to believe that.
Stay on the podium.
This for Coach and then the players. Second year of the Big 12 tournament for the women has been played here at T-Mobile. Just curious as to your thoughts of the venue and then Kansas City as a whole.
Yeah, obviously Kansas City always shows up. I think when you think about a game like today, when you don't have a local team playing it in, you don't have a Kansas State, or I know they refer to this as Hilton South, the building felt like we were playing for something. And so I think it's treated us well. We certainly spend no time in Kansas City when we're here. We like our hotel. We like staying as long as we can stay because it means we're playing in the championship. But T-Mobile, the change to T-Mobile had to happen. The women needed it. I understand there were advantages of playing at the same time and playing at Municipal, but the brand of basketball we play deserves a building like this. So I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful for the way it's run. And so, yeah, it's been good to be here.
Sarah.
I think, it was great. Women's basketball needs stuff like this, especially for a game like this that was just played. It was a great environment, and I was joking with the commissioner earlier about it being Louis on the floor. That's what he said. It looked like we was playing on the Louis court, so it was a great experience.
Nettie.
It was a really cool experience for me personally. I'll say just I've never really been here, used to Las Vegas, but Kansas City was cool. I think, it treated us well. We made it to the last game, so it's a good place to be.
Zach.
Ernest, did you learn anything about yourself or the team in a couple close games? You played well without bugs. Like, what do you take away from this tournament personally as a team?
I mean, we've been without bugs for a few games, but I think it's still apparent that even without someone who contributes so much to our team, we all have what it takes to step up in different ways and make up for that void. I'd say that's just the biggest takeaway. Yeah.
Podium.
Coach, making it all the way to the end, the Baylor faithful that supported y'all throughout the double bye in Iowa State, Colorado State here, what was kind of your reaction to the support you got from this tournament?
Yeah, it was a great. I said it the other day when we were talking about my 100th win. I'm grateful. When Baylor's in your heart, it kind of stays there. And so I think, we don't have the mightiest alumni base in terms of numbers, but I think we have a really faithful fan base. So it was great. But I really want to answer the question you asked Nettie. What I learned is that Kyla Abraham made a big old jump this weekend, and she started making layups. She even made 2 free throws today. And, it's been a long time since we played double big. I thought they did a really good job, Nettie and Kyla playing together. But just, Kyla just hasn't played those extended minutes, and I didn't see the fatigue from her that we often see 2 or 3 minutes in. Because, her job normally is to just give Nettie blows and to play when she's in foul trouble. But I thought she was better than someone that just was a placeholder and rebounded and runs the floor. So I thought that was awesome. I thought Nettie wanted the ball. And if she can score on Magassa and she can score on Sedona Prince, she can score on anybody in the country. And so that's what it told me, that we have someone that we can play to and play through. And I just thought her teammates embraced that. This one in particular with 11 assists the other night. I think she just got her the ball where she needed it, saw her early in transition, and starting to understand when to screen and roll and play behind and when to bury deep. And, she played a little too complicated to start the game. And I thought in the second half she wasn't messing around anymore. And so that's what I learned, that we're lucky enough to get Bugs back. Yes, I'm not just saying that for the NCAA Tournament Committee. Bugs is already practicing. She's in return to play protocol. She'll be back practicing with us the whole week for the NCAA Tournament. And, it allows us to not play tiny, Bella's played great at the 4. We've gotten minutes. Our bench has been phenomenal. I'm super proud of the way they stepped up. But when you don't shoot it great and you're missing out on the best offensive rebounder in your league, it impacts you, and Bugs is going to get you a rim run layup. She's going to get you an offensive rebound. And when you take that away, it makes you work that much harder for baskets. So we're going to be happy to have her back too.
Okay, stay back on the podium for 2, and then we're going to come back up here to Zach. Go.
It seemed like there was a lot of similarities when you guys played TCU in the first 2 games, just with them going up and then you guys making it a game there in the fourth quarter. What would you say was maybe the biggest difference, or was this the same game to you, Coach?
Well, I think they were all a little different. We were down 22 at their place, so that one felt really uncomfortable until we came storming back, and it was furious. I think the last 2 games have been more similar. Where we've had maybe a tough stretch and then it hung around at 8 or 9 points. And we didn't make the push probably soon enough. We started to score in the third, but didn't get enough stops to make it close. And so, but we certainly never quit. We started to get stops late. I thought Tony did a good job mixing up ball screen coverages. The whistle was blowing on hand checks. And so I think there were stretches where it was a parade to the foul line on hand checks, and no one wants to watch that in a conference championship game. But I thought the last 2 games were very similar.
Coach, I know net rankings and all that kind of stuff is all kind of a mystery, but do you feel like y'all made maybe a clear enough case to be able to play back in Waco for first 2 rounds?
Yeah, I thought if we got to the championship, there was no way that we wouldn't be in the top 16. If our net was there, we knew we would get another quad one win with the semifinal win. So I have zero doubt that we've done what we needed to do in this league. And I know we haven't always gotten the respect this year, the Big 12, that say the Big 10 or the SEC have gotten. But I think this is better. This league is better than people give it credit for. And, I think TCU is a top 10 team. They've been a top 10 team. They beat NC State. They beat Notre Dame. And those teams are projected to obviously be 2s and 3s. I feel like we've done everything we needed to do down the stretch, playing our best basketball at the end of the year and only losing to a top 10 team twice. I would be disappointed, but mainly disappointed.
All right, looks like Zach got his question answered. Any other questions? Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Tournament. Okay, so let's get some name tags over. I guess are they still cutting? Okay, good eye. Just move it back. That'd be great. Yeah, Coach, I don't know how many they're going to bring, so we'll just. Well, and only when this guy Zach said, wow, that was a fast 10 minutes or something like that. Oh, 10.
They did come in pretty quick. They were ready to go.
Is there a plaque? Not. Nathan, when you get your hands free, could you please grab Agnes? Even though she didn't score a lot, she had probably the two most important offensive rebounds of the series. And maybe Madison, Connor, just as backups in case they want to bring a lot.
Agnes, Emma.
Yep. No poo. Uh-huh.
It's a heck of a name.
Yep.
Brain games.
Perfect. All right, now we wait.
I don't think so. We heard them, all that crying and screaming was them going to the board.
right out there. I do. I'm good. I've got it. Thank you. Is it Steve? Is that I can't see. I don't have good. Is it Steve? Those 2 offensive rebounds by Agnes. Wow. Wow. Exactly. Do Sedona and Haley play that many minutes every game?
Pretty much.
Do they?
I have, what, like 2 weeks off now?
Yeah. 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 Who came up here on the dais? Sarah Andrews. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh. Nathan, do you have Madison Connor? Just in case. They're still on the court, according to this. She's at the end. I see her. Oh, yeah. I thought you might have. What is it about cutting down nets? Can we just not have them cut and then send them in the locker room? Do we really need to be up on the ladder? What? Do they? Do they really want them? Do they? do they? Do they want them up on ladders? I just always feel like with scissors. I always feel like that's recipe for complete disaster. Ooh, another. Well, not. Let's just hang on. Just hang on. I know. I'm gonna believe it when I see it. When they give me these numbers. Yeah. Yeah, that seems iffy as well. With the thought. Mm-hmm. You're probably not back down here next week, are you? You're doing, yeah. Oh. Well, I'm not coming either, so. I know, right? Let's take a break. No, but they looked adorable. Mm-hmm. There you go. Oh, don't remind me. Right. Yeah. I like to think I'm not responsible, but I feel like one was expected and the other two were not. I mean, may have come as a little bit of a shock. Oh well. Are you going back tomorrow, or are you staying and volunteering for next week? Yeah, no, I get it.
It's a really busy week next week, and I can't miss more work in school.
Are you on spring break this week or the following? 17th? Yeah. Check, check. What now?
During the Baylor,
Mm-hmm.
was it disrupting the noise from the other room? Because I eyed Josh and he sort of walked over there, but he didn't.
I don't think it was. I've tried to gauge that. It's been worse. So
Yeah, a couple of days ago.
it's really bad.
And we told Josh about that.
And they closed the garage door, and that's made a big difference from the hall because that was open. It wasn't open yesterday, wasn't open today, but the days before it was all open, and there was a lot of rattling around. Yeah. So I'm glad that that was closed. And last year, I made an announcement and nobody paid the slightest bit of attention. So it actually needs somebody in there to say, pipe down.
Told us when we mentioned it to him, we need to have somebody that goes around and quietly tells the tables
Yeah.
that they need to be quieter.
Yeah.
But we didn't have anybody doing that. I had the team, so I thought you were about ready to be done. So I
Yeah.
was like,
No, it didn't seem to bother him.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Who are you smiling at?
I looked over here and started laughing. I'm like, can I just be standing here? At least I didn't laugh. I appreciate that. I think I'm gonna go on a 2-week long. I think that'll work.
Yeah.
Flush all this Dr. Pepper out. Get back on track, get healthy.
There you go.
Now, when you start with the winner's interview up here, do you want me to bring the band in the back?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Ugh. No.
Maybe not. That's fine. Hold on.
I mean, I feel like they should bring them all, but we haven't seen that yet. So when they are at the NCAA, they're required to bring their starting 5 to the days between rounds. They have to bring all 5 starters, but then after the game, they kind of pick and choose. Ooh, yuck. You got your ride to the airport all lined up? Well, we know Haley, but we have not had the others confirmed. And there was kind of an either or, so we'll see. See what they decide. I wouldn't mind if they brought them both, but I don't want them sitting up here not saying anything, so. Mm-hmm.
Apparently they started cutting the second net, Lori.
Just asking, any update?
Tia has your update.
All right, yeah.
How does it work with the
So they will give me a text well, yeah, when they enter the locker room, that's when their clock starts for open locker room. Yeah. Mm-hmm. David, will you be covering next week? Next week's tournament as well?
Yeah, I'll be here camping out.
Ah,
Only doing it for one wire service instead of two.
okay. Okay.
Slacking.
Huh.
Ice games and running 2 game stories versus like doing 3 minutes after the final quarter. So sometimes can be a little hairy.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine. What? What? Yeah. Where are we? Where are we? Not originally, but I can I can jump on that bandwagon quicker than, yes, Chiefs. Nick Bolton.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers traded for DK. A second round pick. That's all it took to get him? No, 100%. Freaking second round pick.
Second net is down. We're making some progress. I was more surprised by Myles Garrett re-signing with the Browns after saying, yeah.
I guess we know how much.
They made an offer he could not refuse.
I guess we know the price of not wanting to win a championship.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, they franchise tagged.
They got rid of Tooney.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't pick up DK or Devontae Adams. He went to the Rams.
Yeah.
I don't think we needed him.
Nah.
But
Nah.
I think it's good.
Yeah, they're saving all their moves for a.
I am glad we got that.
Yeah.
And I'll hold the mic if you want to do something. Genuinely. You can go ask. I'll hold the mic.
That's a nice gesture. If you feel like you need to get, then because this is always long.
Yeah, even if it's just 15 minutes a year, that's I'll ask Felicia. That's also how we know.
Yeah, we've got plenty of people who can do the job. I know.
Yeah, we got those two guys.
Uh huh.
No, genuinely.
Yeah.
If you don't ask, I'm gonna ask for you.
Let's move this along. What did you just say, Tia? There you go. I've been known to make up a quote or two.
Players and coaches get here, we're like,
We're done. We're good. Exactly. Yeah. See some people coming back. Maybe that means they're off the court. Ay, ay, ay. We're going to limit to one question. Columbia College soccer players, could you please come up here for a second? I have a request. Because I can't remember anybody's names practically. Could you guys stand at the back between all the people writing their stories in here? If it gets loud, Could you just kind of go down and shush each table? Thank you. I think they forget. Quickly, quickly, quickly. The 5-minute cool down for TCU has begun. Yeah. Yeah. Good, thank you. No, that was me telling ASAP. Oh, yeah, I would put up her up there for sure. Yeah. Okay, Nathan, Prince, and Connor. Sorry. Okay, TCU is on its way. Yep. All right, we are joined by TCU head coach Mark Campbell, student athletes Madison Connor, all-tournament team selection Sedona Prince, and most outstanding player Haley Van Lith. Coach, I'll let you start with some comments about the game.
Well, that game was everything you hoped for a Big 12 championship. I mean, it came down to the last possession, literally. And it's Baylor's a really good team, great coaching staff. And we've had 3 great games against those guys. But at the end of the day, we always found a way to get it done, and it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Shoot, we hadn't beat them in 35 years, and now we beat them 3 times this year. So just so proud of this group and everything that they've accomplished. They're just so resilient and gritty and tough, and it's happened over and over and over all season. They just find a way. And so it's going to be fun to enjoy this. We get a week to finally catch our breath, but we're gonna celebrate this one and really enjoy this.
All right, hands are up. We will go first right here on the left. Hang on one second, Stephen. There we go. All right.
Mark, we sat in a very similar situation a week ago, and you called this team hard to kill. Yeah. We saw the kind of a very similar end of the game tonight. There was a sequence where Agnes got, I think, 3 offensive rebounds on 1 possession. How does that kind of exemplify that hard to kill attitude?
It is. These guys are just winners, and they find ways to impact the game. Each of them they're so talented in their own ways, but each of them have different gifts and things that they bring to the table. And Agnes, that's Agnes. Like, she's just the backbone, the warrior, and she finds ways to impact winning. And so, again, I think that's one of the reasons we are hard to kill. There's so many weapons. There's so much talent. And each of them complement each other, and they're all, we talked about yesterday, they all just want to win. And none of us want this journey to end or this ride to end. So, but, yeah, that's a great example.
Steve.
Stephen Johnson, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Haley, this is your first conference tournament title, right? I guess how rewarding is that experience after everything you went through in March, not only to win this title for the first time, but you win it with teammates like Sedona, Madison, and your coach like Mark?
Yeah, I mean, it means everything. And again, like, it's just more evidence of, how perfect God's timing has been in my life. And I was thinking about it even at the beginning of the tournament. And, as humans, we always question, like, why things are happening to us, like, why we're going through things. And if I wouldn't have had the experiences that I've had in the past, I would not be able to realize this blessing that I have in front of me with TCU to its fullest potential. Like, I would have not been the person that would be able to capitalize off of what this opportunity has been for me. So, it's God's timing, man, and this was my year that He decided that, it was time for me to give glory to His name. So I'm just super grateful.
Amen.
Sorry, Stephen. We'll go to David.
Haley, in the last year, Olympic medal, Big 12 Player of the Year, Big 12 regular season championship, and now tournament championship.
That's a pretty good run.
And you're on quite a run. How does this one stack up with the rest of them?
Ooh, honestly, team achievements are it's such a flex to say that your team is good. Like, anybody can go out and have average 20 a game and play on a bad team and never get to postseason. To say that your team, like, kicks people's butts, like, that's the ultimate flex. So, like, anytime my team, like, we do something, like, that's the best feeling. But at the end of the day, I think things have started coming to me more, and I've been actually able to, really get over the hurdle of certain things because I've stopped living for it. Like, my self-worth isn't teetering on whether I win, Big 12 Player of the Year or not. So, I think I'm proud of myself for that growth as a human. But at the end of the day, anything that we win as a team, like, that's the ultimate flex to me.
And Mark, to follow up, when did you figure out that this team had what it took? You talked about being one of the worst programs in the Power Five 2 years ago. When did you figure out that this team had what it took?
Yeah, it's similar to Haley's story. As you build something, there's adversity along the way, and you need part of that adversity to become what you need to become. And so a year ago, we were 14-0 and off to the best start in school history. And at that time, that group, before the injuries hit, was a special group. But we just didn't quite have the depth and the firepower. So you knew you were on the right track. But that was a really hard and challenging year as you take over a program. And then this next year, the first glimpse in college basketball, you get a chance to play 2 exhibition games or 2 scrimmages. And we chose to play 2 SEC games behind closed doors. And after those 2 games was the first chance, you come back and you meet as a staff and you're breaking film and you start going, gosh, dang, we might be pretty good this year. And then the first aha moment was the NC State game. And they were in the Final Four a year ago and returned everybody. But that's when you got to see the star power and when the bright lights were on. And it was our first national televised game. And you came and you got to see what these guys are made of. And they didn't flinch. And now 34 games into the season, they still haven't flinched.
All right, middle right.
Charlie Krupski, KJHK Radio. Coach, just kind of adding on to that, thinking back, when you guys were at your lowest, did you think that you could get this dominant this quickly?
Yeah, no question. No question. A huge part of college athletics is recruiting and attracting talent and identifying. And one of my favorite parts of the job is assembling teams and finding young women and getting the locker room dialed in and right and your culture right and our style of play and system that we play. You know what kind of pieces you have to get. And so you never know how long it'll take, though. But we did the same thing at Sac State. Our second year was the best team in school history. And so, but again, you're at the mercy. The Lord has absolutely blessed our labor, has watched over us, has brought each one of these kids. The story of how they've showed up here is amazing. I want to say this, and in an era of NIL and all this stuff, in this story, I haven't shared much, but you guys, Madison Connor, Sedona Prince, they came to TCU, and I didn't have a dollar. They came to TCU because they wanted to build something. They had a chip on their shoulder, and they wanted to hoop, and they wanted to prove something. And so, and again, Haley, she didn't come here because of any money. Haley loves basketball more than anything, and she had 9 months left to try to get her career right and accomplish her childhood dream. Each one of these kids have dreams to play in the W and play at the next level, and these three came to TCU, and that's our whole roster for the right reasons. And so it's been magical. It really is. It's hard to even truly put into words this journey that's unfolded these last 2 years.
Can you even describe just how much fun this team is for you?
Yeah, I get to sit courtside and watch the show every game. I'm truly along for this ride. And you guys, it's so stinking hard to do what they're doing. Well, it's never been done at TCU, but to win 30 games for anywhere at any school in the country is incredibly hard to do. And so, yes, I'm enjoying every moment. I know how fragile winning and losing is, and it could change like that. A year ago, it did for us. And so I think one of the things you guys don't get to see this group behind closed doors, especially these three. I got three characters that are sitting next to me that are fun-loving people that enjoy each other. Their teammates enjoy each other. And so just this whole journey, they're freaking kicking everybody's butt, and they're having fun along the way.
Stephen.
So, Donna, teams haven't been able to do much with you guys except just try to muck it up and get physical. What type of message do you – I'm sorry, I'm just trying to keep it real. I guess what type of message do you think you guys sent in terms of being like, hey, we can get physical, we can get a little grimy as well, too?
Yeah, I mean, that's been our biggest growth area this season, I think. It's been a challenge for us all along the way, and we saw it early. And it's a compliment to us. It says, we're going to try to turn you over and kind of make it a nasty game to slow you down and get, forced turnovers and stuff. And so it's been a challenge for us all year, right? We've really worked on it, really focused on it, and we've kind of, faced it head on and said, this is going to be what we need to overcome to be the best team as possible. And so it's been fun. It's been a challenge, learning how to pick that apart, right? And just be calm and patient and have trust in each other and play the right kind of offense, right? So it's been fun.
All right. Left.
Coach, 31-3, regular season champions, conference champions, player of the year in the conference, defensive player in the conference, best three-point shooter in the country. Why are teams still not giving you respect when it comes to bracketology?
Yeah, that's a good question. These guys could probably answer that and be wittier than I am, but I don't spend a lot of time on it. I don't totally know all the inner workings. I try to pour my energy into winning and focusing on the next game and scouting, and that's all you can do. But as they figure out 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed, I do know we get a host, and I do know we're 31-3. And I believe there's current teams like NC State and Notre Dame that are ahead of us. I don't totally understand how that works. And we don't have a bad loss on our schedule after 34 games. So I know there's a committee out there that works really hard at trying to get it right. And they scrub those top 16 seeds. And at the end of the day, they've done the different reveals, and there's transparency in the process, which I really like. That's really the only thing I follow is when the committee does the NCAA top 16 reveal throughout the year. And then I kind of keep an eye on the net. Overall, but I believe the committee will get it right, and we've handled our business. There's not many teams that have won their league title and have won the conference tournament and don't have one bad loss on their resume.
Okay, middle right.
Coach Trevor Butler from the University Daily Kansan. You mentioned that obviously we don't get to see these players behind closed doors. What kind of an impact have these veteran players made on this team, especially Haley and Sedona?
Man, all three of these guys they can have a absolute blast and have fun when it's time, which you have to, because we've been doing this 10 months now, I think. But when it's time, when it's go time, one of their greatest giftings, all three of these kids, the switch flips. And when they go on the court and step into the ring, they become different animals. And they're truly, they're like pros that way. And they've experienced so much in their college career, you know. And part of that, I mean, Haley's played in Final Four. Sedona's been a part of the number one team in the country. And Madison played in a national championship game. And so they understand the ebb and flow of a year and when to pull back and have fun and let loose and when to also crank it up.
Back on the podium.
This is for Coach and the players, but it's the second year the tournament's been hosted here at T-Mobile Center. I'm just curious as to your thoughts of the venue and then also of Kansas City as a whole.
Connor, start us.
Enlighten us, please.
Enlighten us, I don't know, really. We get driven around on a bus, so I don't really know too much about the city, but I think T-Mobile it's a great venue, and I think we had a good fan support here, so it was awesome to play here.
I mean, we won here, so obviously we love it. We love it.
It's food as well. Yeah.
The truth is, you guys, they do not. They don't leave the hotel unless there's a pregame meal. They have film session. They have ice baths. You have 3 games in 3 days. Last night, I think after our game, we came back. They did ice baths here. Then once they did that, you have the media window that you have to knock out. Then they had post-game meal. Then they had massages that were a 2-hour window for everybody to get to massage. I think we started film at 8 o'clock at night, finished at 9. And then the 2 kids, after the film session ended, they had 2 more massages, and they were in the rooms by 10. So I know Kansas City's an awesome place. I think this venue's great, and I think it's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I know it takes a village to put on an event like this, and there's so many moving parts. From our end, there wasn't one hiccup that I noticed at all. So it was a first-class job by everyone here.
All right, right over here on the right.
Daniel Schmidt, University Daily Kansan. This one's for Madison. You know, you've been through a lot. You started at Arizona, you ended up here. What's it been like, you know, the last 2 years now that you got to stand on the court, watch the confetti fall? What was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I think Haley kind of touched on it. We've all kind of been through different parts of our basketball career and kind of been through things, and I think that's why we're having success that we are now, just because we've kind of endured a lot of things over our years, and I think it's just awesome to see this program go from 1-17 to the work that we've put in, the work the coaching staff has put in, and kind of just all the players buying in. I think that's something that's really rare about our team. We all buy in. We all want to win. We're all here for the right reasons, and I think that's super hard to find nowadays.
All right, down here on the left.
Sedona, you've talked a lot about just your experience at TCU and what the university means to you in this program. You had the broom out today. I think you've really bought into the rivalry with Baylor. What does it mean to have the opportunity to win a championship and a tournament championship over a big rival, and then to continue to make history with everything that you guys do?
Oh, yeah, I mean, all glory to God. Genuinely, you can feel it when you're in this program. I think everyone has. It's undeniable that God has been along with us from the start, along this journey. And so it's amazing. It's a blessing to be a part of something, right? To be the first to do something. It's very rare in human history that you get to be the first at something. And so it's a blessing. I'm so grateful. I just really can't believe it. You know, it's taken a lot to get here, a lot of patience and adversity, and just kind of like looking up and being like, why? Like, what is this for so long? And to be in the moment that it kind of all makes sense and clicks is really special. And so just trying to take it in and enjoy every moment. I know that when this season's over, I'm going to miss it for the rest of my life. And so being in it now is just soaking it in every day.
Over on the left. Far.
Steve Walls, KON and FM here in Kansas City. Madison, I think you brought it up, talking about buying in. Right. Sometimes I think it takes a lot from teams to just buy in totally. How long did it take for you guys to just put your egos to the side and buy in as a unit? And it's for everyone.
Honestly, I think from the first day we started training camp in the summer, which is kind of crazy to say. You have a whole bunch of transfer kids and some kids that returned, but I mean, it was kind of crazy. Like, all of us clicked. There was no drama off the rip. Like, we all just knew that we wanted to come here and win, and we wanted to be the best basketball player and best person possible, and I think that we all have done that from the jump. So we really haven't had to deal with egos or anything like that, selfishness. from the jump, which is really crazy. And I mean, since June, we've kind of been a family, and I think that's why we're winning at such a high rate, and that's why we're doing the things that we're doing, because we really are a family and care about each other, and there's no egos in this locker room.
I think it's really cool as well. Maddie and we all three sat down in the conference room when Haley was on her visit, and no coaches, no one, just us. And to hear about Haley Van Lith, obviously she's a massive name, and you never know. But Haley's, just her spirit going into that room and talking to her, we immediately were like, we can do something special here, Haley. And just the way she spoke to us, I was like, I want to make history. I want to win, be a part of a great team. I think that's when I kind of knew I was like, this is going to be something really, really special. And so that buy-in from her immediately, we're going to do something special. This is going to be very, something people talk about for forever. That was the moment for me. I was like, this is it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're all correct in what they've said, but to me, a lot of people throw the word selfish around, and I think it can be misconstrued sometimes, because if a girl takes a tough shot, a lot of people are like, oh, that's a selfish shot. If that's what you do for the team, that's not a selfish shot. You're trying to help the team. And that's the thing, it's not like we're perfect all the time, and sometimes I take bad shots, sometimes everybody takes bad shots, but it's the intention behind it is never to be selfish. It's because we think that's what we can do to help the team. And so I think that's why it's been so easy getting along, because I've never questioned the intention behind why they do things. I fully trust them. If they think that shot or that read was right, they're doing it to help the team. I've never once questioned anybody's intentions on this team. So it makes it really easy when you have that trust.
I want to give a special shout out to Chauncey Franks. He's the FCA director at TCU, and Chauncey's just been an amazing part of my journey. But came up with an idea to start a leadership group, a set of captains, and we handpicked 5 of them, and they've done 11 meetings once a week to just invest and pour into the leadership aspect. In college athletics, these guys, so much of the time and energy resources is spent on, the weight room and nutrition and the basketball piece, and oftentimes the leadership piece for young people, they don't get that element. And so it takes a village, and there's so many. I think our staff's incredible at pouring into the players. And then Chauncey's done just such a fantastic job of just meeting with them. And so, but ultimately, it all comes down to the players. These 3, but there's 15 of them that ultimately have to decide if they're all in with 2 feet. And you can't make someone do that. You can encourage them, and so I think that's what really is special about this group of 15 young women. They have been all in, and they're each other's biggest fans, which is rare.
And Coach, you talked about leadership. You also said you were at your lowest point mentally. I know we ask players this all the time, but as a coach, how did you overcome it mentally?
Obviously, my faith is bigger than the basketball piece. And a year ago, I was really struggling. And my wife had a message put on her heart that she kept telling me, and she's here. But her theme last year was the Lord setting the stage. That was the exact phrase that I heard all the time as I couldn't sleep and was questioning stuff and trying to figure out, how to dig this program out of the hole. And my wife just kept telling me the Lord's setting the stage. She was right, and I didn't know that it meant this level.
Women are always right.
Yep. Like Haley said, women are usually right. So my wife was spot on. And all of us, you got to go through adversity sometimes. Sometimes you need some rain to get a rainbow. And that saying sounds simple, but it's pretty accurate. And so my family, and these this group that last year, even though it was hard, the underfrogs is kind of what we coined ourselves. That group was so resilient, and it was so fun battling with that group. But it laid the foundation of hard work and no excuses and not folding and rolling up your sleeves. And that foundation that was laid carried over to this. Now you have elite talent, but the foundation's still built right. And that's why we're champs and we're 31-3.
All right. Any other questions? Congratulations. Good luck in the NCAA tournament. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, you guys.
I know.